Yeah, right on time. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, if or good afternoon, if you're joining in anywhere from around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's such a joy and honor to have every one of us gathered here to just really just interact, learn around meal planning tips, especially if you are a busy parent with picky eaters. I think that most of the things that I have done as a person have been born out of experiences that I have had, either raising my child or raising another person's child. And sometimes I think there are things I can just relate with. Meal planning is just one of those things that I know that I can really, relate with because of the journey, that I had, raising a couple of kids. And thank God that we get to do this today. My name is Mercy Adesanwo. Um, I will just give you like a short welcome note so that we know why we are here. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time meeting you, good to meet you. I'm super excited you're on here. And it's a pleasure to have you join us for the meal planning tips for busy parents with picky eaters. Every time I reflect on the importance of this topic, I'm reminded of when my little girl was transitioning from breast milk to solid foods. I was navigating the uncharted territory, repeating meals she refused, experimenting with new ones, and then I often felt frustrated after spending time preparing dishes she wouldn't touch. Like many of us then, I was busy then. I am still busy now. And then balancing responsibilities while trying to figure out what kids will eat, felt very overwhelming for me. If that sounds familiar, you are in the right place. This event is designed to provide practical solutions, ease your stress, and help make mealtime a more enjoyable experience for both you and your little ones. I'm honored to share this time with you, and I assure you it will be well worth it. Relax and take notes. I have my notes here because I'm going to be taking, a lot of notes today. Okay, let's move. I want us to take a moment to pray. It's a very important thing. And I'll just pray shortly before we begin. So, dear God, we just want to thank you for this moment that you've given to us. Thank you for so much love that you have for us and you have for our children. We do not love them more than you love them. You love them more than we can ever love them. And we're so grateful for this moment to invest in learning so that we can be better parents, so that we can ease stress and the overwhelming feeling that surrounds meal planning. And I ask God that you will grant us insights. I'm asking that in the name of Jesus, our questions will be answered in the name of Jesus. One way or the other, this is going to be an impactful and insightful time for us in Jesus' name. Thank you, dear Lord. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for joining in once again. And I don't know, but I just wanted to chip this in. One of the things that I felt like, when I was raising the early stages of raising my daughter, was that I felt that I wasn't really a great cook when she would refuse meals. I don't know if anybody if anybody ever felt that way. So if you ever felt that way, please give me a thumbs up so that I know that I'm not alone. Yeah, I always felt like I wasn't a great cook. Like if she's refusing it, that means you really don't know how to cook. And also, I like, oh, okay, thank God. I'm not the only one that feels that way. So we're just going to have like a little icebreaker just to, make this lighten up. I know we want to learn, but I also know that as parents, sometimes it can be so stressful. I would just need time to just really chill and relax. Don't worry, our guest is already here and she's ready for us, fully ready for us. So I'm just going to have this icebreaker. But before I continue, I put a link in the chat box. It's a Slido link where you can ask all your questions. If you feel like you cannot, you don't want to talk about it, where you don't want people to hear your questions, and know that it's coming from you, for privacy's sake, you can just go to the Slido link. I already added it to the chat box, and I pinned it already, so you can ask your questions. Please don't feel ashamed. We are on a journey. I myself, I am learning, so please feel free. Okay, so let's go into this icebreaker. So you could just drop an emoji in the chat, or maybe or just type out your response, anyone. So just drop a laughing emoji if mealtime in your house is pure comedy. Like you have to, like everybody has to laugh when you're feeding your kid. Just drop it in the chat box, or maybe just react, thumbs up, with the reaction button. Yeah, it's pure comedy. I personally, my own experience, when my daughter was younger, I always held her hand, and there was a way she was always, shaking her head and shouting those screams up till today. When I think about it, I always laugh a lot. Yeah, it's always pure comedy. Okay, the next icebreaker. What's the weirdest reason your child ever refused to eat a particular meal? Maybe you touched their plate and they didn't want to eat it, or their sibling looked at them in a particular way and they're like, I'm not eating again, I don't want. Or maybe when he said, I don't want to eat bananas because they are too yellow. And just one weird reason, you could just put it in the chat. Just one weird reason why they just said, I'm not eating. I'll be reading your chat if you have any. Because I know with kids, sometimes there's a way to, if someone looks at them, okay, because it's fish case closed. Oh my God. Yeah, I think yesterday I was reading from a particular mom, and she was just like, anything fish, meat, chicken, she's not, her son doesn't eat. And she felt so overwhelmed. Like she was just frustrated at that time. Very, very weird reasons, honestly. Like, I don't want to eat bananas because bananas are too yellow. Oh my God. Yeah, let's move to the next icebreaker just to make it really fun for us so that we can lighten up. Okay, what was your least favorite food as a child? Now, this is to parents. What was your least favorite food? One of the things I found out, I don't know how true this is, but someone said to me one time when I said, I think I mentioned some particular meals that my daughter doesn't take. And the person asked me, I said, when you were pregnant with her, did you eat those stuff? And I'm like, no. She said that maybe that's why she's not eating it. And I'm like, maybe, just maybe because she didn't eat it. Maybe that's why she doesn't like it. Okay, your least favorite food as a child. My least favorite food as a child, even up till now, is fried plantain. I don't know. I hate fried plantain with the whole of me. And that's because when I was growing up, there was a way my mom did it, and I totally understand it was because she wanted it to be very soft, for me to enjoy and not have to munch it hard. So she made it so soft, and it was quite soggy, and somehow I didn't end up liking it at all. That was just really what happened. with that, I did not like plantain at all. Okay, let me see. I want to see our responses on the group. Okay, amala. Wow, interesting. Any other response? Okay, that's all right. If your child could eat just one food for a whole week, what do you think that food will be? Somebody said sugar cane. Really? As sweet as sugar cane is. Wow. And you wouldn't even eat it now. Interesting. Okay. If your child could eat just one food for a whole week, what would it be? Would it be fast food all day? Healthy? Oh, I never liked cucumber. Wow. Someone said cucumber tastes like grasshoppers. Interesting. Very weird. Very weird reason. Oh my God. I need to ask the person. The person tasted grasshoppers. It's really funny. Oh my God. Healthy. Okay. Back to the final icebreaker. Oh, apples and bananas. Okay, looks like some more responses are coming. Apples and bananas. That's strange too. Well, just like my fried plantain, not eating fried plantain too is strange. Oh my God. All right. Tea. Oh, okay. Now that's serious. Oh my God. Tea. Okay. The final icebreaker. If your child could eat just one food for a whole week, what would it be? Would it be fast food all day? Maybe they like to visit the nearest restaurant with you, or healthy home cooked meals, or only snacks and sweets? Give me your response as Ginger in the chat box. Would they eat fast food all day? Actually, thinking about it with my child, healthy home cooked meals. Actually, okay, rice, interesting. Oh, okay, wow, interesting. Beans all day, wow. Because I know that. Okay, so funny thing is that just yesterday in my house, my daughter came back from daycare and then she was saying she wants to eat beans, and I'm like, this is so weird because you don't always eat beans like that. And truly, she finished like 2 plates, and I'm like, maybe this is the next thing now. I myself, I can't even answer this question whether it's fast food all day or healthy. It is mood. When she feels like it, she'll eat it. Okay, yeah. So it was fun doing this, honestly. Thank you so much for um participating in this. Again, I already pinned the Slido link in the chat. And if you want to ask any question, please feel free to ask any question. There is no shame here. Okay, I want to use this word I heard of recent. This is a no judgment free zone. The no judgment zone. Yeah, thank you so much. All right, I want to introduce our guest, and I will just read out our profile quickly. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay, so meet Seyi Osaze-Emokpae. Mrs Oluwaseyi Osaze-Emokpae is a dedicated Christian and a registered dietitian-nutritionist with a passion for promoting healthy living. She holds a bachelor's degree in food, nutrition, and dietetics from Obafemi Awolowo University and a master's degree in public health. Currently, Mrs. Osaze-Emokpae works as a clinical and community health dietitian at the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital Complex, Nigeria. She has experience in leadership roles and possesses skills in management, team building, and youth leadership. We're in for a good time. Mrs. Osaze-Emokpae is a full member of the Nutrition Society of Nigeria, NSN, and serves as the treasurer of the Osun State chapter. She is committed to advancing the field of nutrition and dietetics in Nigeria. In addition to her professional pursuits, Oluwaseyi is a gifted minstrel and serves as the choir director at a local church assembly. She's passionate about using music as a tool for worship and ministry. Oluwaseyi Osaze-Emokpae is blessed with a loving husband and 2 precious children who bring joy and fulfillment to her life. Her husband's unwavering support and encouragement inspire her to pursue her passions, while her children's smile and laughter fill her heart with delight. As a devoted wife, mother, and professional, Mrs. Osaze-Emokpae strives to balance her various roles with grace, humility, and a commitment to excellence. I want us to make welcome with me Mrs. Seyi Osaze-Emokpae. Welcome. She's here on this call.
Oh, I'm
Great.
happy to be here.
We're happy to have you here. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I like this balloon. It's giving kids. It's giving some kids this vibe.
Maybe like, hello, and see how you doing? It's been a long time.
Yes, good to see your face, Mom.
I'm
Oh,
really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
a
I'm sure
pleasure.
we're going
Thank
to have
you.
a good time together.
Yeah.
And should I start now?
Oh, sure, please. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Hello. I would just like to call a name that I'm seeing here. Hello, Ogutuashe Folashade, Jemima, and Akombi Yemisi. Thank you for having me, and a host of others. Thank you very much. Actually, I actually enjoyed the icebreaker section, and I was just thinking about my own childhood too. How beans was an issue growing up, and fortunately enough, beans is now my best food. So so I really don't even know how to compare that time to this time. I'm sure I think it's because it's because of the consistency then. That's why I didn't like it. But now I enjoy beans. So thank you very much for the icebreaker session. I'll be talking about meal planning and also handling picky eating in children. And I'm going to merge both in to bring about a reasonable conclusion. So I hope you can all hear me, or should I increase my volume, or are you okay with it?
Can hear you perfectly.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you. I can see those thumbs up. What do we call, how do we define meal planning? Um, the Academy for Nutrition and Dietetics, they defined it as the process of selecting and preparing meals to to ensure healthy, balanced, and enjoyable eating. I'm not going to bore us with too much of nutrition information this afternoon, but I will try to make my work my my talk less of big nutrition terminologies. So it's actually a process. So when we go through a process, we expect a final result. So it's a process of selecting and preparing meals, simply as that. So while we are doing that, we are ensuring that the meals we are taking is healthy, it's balanced, and also it's enjoyable. Food business is not it is food should not be something that is stressful, should not be something that you have to finish this thing or else I'm going to be eating. No, no, no. It should be something that is enjoyable. And also, excuse me, and also WHO defined meal planning. They are talking about that it's actually a critical composition of healthy living, and they involve not just planning, than shopping. I think I'm going to dwell more on that as time goes on. Shopping, preparing, and consuming healthy meals. Get let's leave the definition part. While preparing for this, I was thinking that, was there anywhere in the scriptures where there was meal planning? Was there anywhere in the picture that maybe God was instructing us on meal planning and all? I think I can relate some few scenarios in the scripture. Let's talk about manna. You know, when in the Old Testament, when the children of Israel were in the deserts on their way to the promised land and they were hungry, they said they've not eaten something that looks like this in Egypt and all. God had to send them something that looks like should I call it a cornflakes, a crisp, any honey flakes cornflakes. Maybe call it that. God had to send it to them, and God gave them an instruction that they should not they should not pick, they should not gather a lot for themselves. The one they need for the next day, should just they should pack it. But man, now we have to think ahead, we have to plan. What if it doesn't fall for this day? What if it doesn't the manna does not fall tomorrow? We all understand what happened at the end of it. So another example I also thought of was the famine.
It's just me. I can't hear again. I'm so sorry about that. I think it's an yeah. I think your network might just went off a bit. We didn't hear
Okay,
you.
I'm back now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was giving an example of biblical examples of meal planning in the scriptures. I talked about manna from above, in which God had to say that this is what this is how you should gather it at this quantity. Then some of them made it into flour, into pasta, and a whole of it. I think you can hear me, right?
Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me?
I'm
Yes,
sorry, I'm
yes,
having
please.
a little bit of network each here.
Can you hear me now? Oh, okay, okay.
That's
Thank you
okay.
very much. So, I was talking about the times of Joseph, in which by prophetic guidance they were asked to gather some crops for some years, and there was economic situations then and everything. And I really don't know their food preservative methods that time, but for those years that the famine existed, there was food. There was food. I think God knew ahead that something was going to. He knew, so he had to. He had to come by planning their meals. You know, I could imagine that their meals could be restricted for that period of time. You know, but they were healthy. They didn't die. So another example I thought of in the New Testament was Jesus feeding the 5,000. That was actually an experience. I'm like, so Jesus can, so Jesus can also deal with food. You know what he did? You know, he had them seated. He blessed the food, and there was more than enough. You know, he had them. You know, when I was reading the scripture, like God had them seated. So, so Jesus knew the importance of settling down to eat, food organization, because he knew that some people will pack home. Some it may not go around, but he had them seated in groups, and it happened. And the meal plan happened, and they were fed, and they were okay. So, what are the benefits of this planning of meals? It saves time and money. It saves time and money, it reduces waste, avoid last minute takeout, and it helps grocery shopping, such that you are not lost when you get to the market, when you get to the grocery shop. You don't know what do I do, what am I getting? No, planning of meal helps you save time and it's also save money too, and you are not confused. Another thing is that it also promotes healthy living, the eating. No, I'm going to also delve into food behavior and how we come about it. You said something during the icebreaker. You said maybe some people were saying that maybe what you didn't eat during pregnancy, so you find out your child is not even eating it. Actually, science has proved that too. Science proved to us that the sensory the sensory organs of a child starts is being developed right from the womb, the placenta. You know, the placenta is what gives the child food when they are still in utero. So the kind of food you eat, the combination of, I don't know how God does it. Maybe it has a particular flavor. It has a particular, I really don't know. You know, some people, you know, you find out that even right from when you go for scan, you find out that some children, they are sucking their tongue, sorry, their thumb, right from when they are there. So I really don't know how it happens, you know. The science has not really established answer some of our questions like that, but it's been established that food behaviors and attitude to food starts from the in utero. So that's just a digress. I'm talking about the benefits of meal planning. I talked about that it helps reduce stress and money. Saves times and money, then promotes healthy eating, then also reduces stress. That's what I want to say. The time you are going to take out in planning of meal and everything, but when you have it organized, there's a level of stress it pulls out. I would say that there won't be stress because could be some mental stress. We don't want to repeat food. We had this yesterday. We are not going to. Must not eat that today. All those kind of things. But the stress of, hey, what am I going to eat? The children. And if you have one of my children, my son, when he's hungry, he does not hear English. So I wouldn't even want that time to even up. So I give him the food before he even starts his drama. Also, the benefit of meal planning, it introduces variety into our meals. It introduces variety. And we have several types of meal planning. We have that of weekly based, we have the bi-weekly, we have the monthly meal planning, and we have the team-based planning. Okay, then I think I'm rushing. The weekly planning, like for an entire week. So if you are planning your meal, it might be cumbersome doing it for a whole month. So you can just start by a week. Okay, so you can just draw a line, 3 columns. Then you can write breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then you write the days of the week. That is it. That's one. Then bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. That's every 2 weeks. It's that could also provide variety coming in. You can say that, okay, we've ate this in the last 2 weeks. Let's eat another kind of thing in this time around. Then we have the monthly meal planning. This is also essential, especially for busy parents. You and those of us on maybe your income is on salary basis. This is common here in Nigeria. So we just have to plan ahead. What do you think we need we need in this family for this month? There was a time I noticed a certain micronutrient deficiencies in my children. I was like, what is happening here? They were complaining of bone, then teeth. We're having issues with teeth and all. Okay, so what I did was, okay, how do I inculcate adequate calcium in their meal in the next 4 months, in the next 3 months? So what I did was I went for locally available sources of calcium. I made their food rich in crayfish. I blended buying brisket bone. I blended it into powder, put it in their meals, in their jollof rice. So sometimes when you see some of my meal, I'm a dietitian, you can be thinking, this thing looks. Can they eat it? Oh, they can eat it. I'm still coming back. I'm still coming to that. Then another type of meal plan is the team-based meal planning, in which we have the budget friendly. For instance, when maybe you are planning for I'm thinking of this particular meal, this particular vegetable here in Nigeria. We have okra. There's sometimes you can make okra soup, and it's a budget friendly. We know that there's nothing much. We don't have much in the family, but we can make something good from our budget. So we also have the vegetarian. If you have it's not common here in my part of the world, but I'm sure it might be common in your area. Vegetarian meal planning, that this child wants prefers plant-based meals. It actually takes planning it for it to come out. Then some children also react to gluten, so we can be planning gluten-free meals and other things like that. There are also meals for specific in the family. We will have some children with special needs. Maybe they have difficulty. Maybe we are talking about some children. It's not their fault. Maybe their cerebral palsy, ADHD, attention deficit, autism, and all those kind of things. They have to eat. They have issues with their meals, so you have to plan their meals. So you have to consider the texture and other things involved. So for this meal planning for special needs, that is where I'll be coming in today. For the picky eaters, children with food allergies, then also the meal preparation in details. So If you are with me, can I have a can you give me a thumbs up? If you are with me, you still with me? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Opeyemi Idowu. Thank you very much. So let's now talk about picky eating in children. Picky eating. Actually, picky eating is recognized as a normal developmental phase. I think that will surprise most mothers. They will think, oh, my child, that's what it does. No, it's actually a normal developmental phase in early childhood. It's actually between the ages of 4 to 5 years. It's a normal developmental phase. And as I said the other time, um, food behaviors in children tend to have a particular behavior to food right from their womb, from the unitary. And when they are born, here in Nigeria, we propagate breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. And then where the problem comes in is when the transition to complementary food. So the kind of meals they have been used to, right, where when they were in the womb, then what the mother takes in breastfeeding, because all our food, they have a way of changing the taste of our breast milk. It's been established, especially if you are the type that likes taking food rich in onions and garlic and all. It's so what you eat is what you give the child to breastfeed on. That's just it. Then after that, introducing the complementary meals and feeding, that's where we start having issues with food. Said, I'm used to breast milk. You are now giving me this. I don't like it. You are giving me formula. I don't like it. I'm used to this kind of meal. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to conclude from my own type of environment, because I have that there are several people from other countries here and who may not our own style of eating here in Nigeria might not be what we are used to. So I'm trying to balance things. So, but what I'm trying to say is that there could be a reluctance in the child. So the child eating habits. So when they now get to now 2 years of age, now their will is being formed. Now they can tell you, mommy, no, mommy, yes, mommy, I want this, mommy, I want that. And there could even be a time that they will want a certain type of food. Mommy, I want this. And you'll be surprised. Why are you eating this? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometimes this period too, it's also characterized by they are unwilling to try new food. That is what we call new food neophobia. They are just not. You give them this, no, I don't want. I don't want. And they will they will throw tantrums. They would they can be very dramatic. They can be very, very dramatic in how they handle how they how they display their emotions as regards food. So they can also reject a certain food because of the sensory characteristics or textures. They can also find it can have a rigid behavior regarding food. They can even have they can be so disinterested in anything food. Mealtime, they start crying. They're just and you don't be surprised. This child that was eating before is no more eating. How do I go about that? So this pickiness has shown to be associated with lower number and lower variety of food content. And this raises questions of some nutritional inadequacies and micronutrient deficiency. As I said, it is characterized by children between the age of 2 and between 2 to 4 to 5 years of age. Some of them, when you handle it well, they would. When you handle when you handle that period well, they would get better, and they wouldn't have a rigid attitude towards food. So, how do we handle this kind of children? How do we help them? Because you know if they are tending towards a particular meal and it's not enough for their kilocalorie needs and nutritional balances. We are they will fall sick. They can have deranged immunity, and I wouldn't want that to happen. Somebody said that you should eat your food as if you are taking drugs, so that you will not take your drug as if you are eating food. Somebody say, I think if you eat, when you have a healthy, balanced diet, you take your food, you take your adequate meals, you won't fall sick and you will not be taking drugs. And drug is not, children don't like taking drugs. So how do we have this picky eaters? First and foremost, we have to understand, identify their preferences. Studying them, you have to know that, okay, why is this child not eating this particular food again? You can just take note of it and determine the reason behind the pickiness. Sometimes it might be, is it the texture? Is it the smell? When some mother brings their children to the hospital and they said she's not eating this, she's not eating that, and they are discouraged, they are this and that. I found out that most adults, we don't usually consider them in our planning of meal, such that in terms of the texture, how soft my kind of rice, and maybe rice or pasta, is different from the softness of them. Some of them don't even have they only have premolar, they don't have molar yet, and you can even count their teeth. Maybe it's just 8 or 10. I used to do that for my child. I said, let me see, how many is your teeth now? She would just say, mommy, it's now 10. And you can compare it to you as an adult who is now 32. We have 32 teeth. So sometimes it might be because of the texture of the food. Yes. So when we know that is it the texture, then we follow suit. We follow suit such that all meals will be in that texture. Yes. Sometimes it is the smell. The smell. Sometimes it's the smell. Some of them don't have issues with with onions. They don't just want to see it in their diet. They don't want the smell of it. Okay. How do I inculcate putting onions, which I notice is very good for them? We can go for dry onions. That's the smell has reduced. So you have to determine the reason behind the pickiness. Have an established healthy eating food behavior right from time. Then also understand that they are growing. This is a developmental phase. They are going to outgrow this period. So don't be harsh on them. Don't shout on them. And also don't make food a reward. If you eat your rice, I'm going to give you chocolate. No, we don't encourage that. And why is that? Because we don't want them to have an unhealthy eating behavior as regards their when they begin to take that, that's what they will be joining. Okay, mommy will give me chocolate, mommy will give me sweets. No, we don't do that. Instead, you could say that, if you finish your food, Daniela, I'm going to give you a star. Oh, you will love that. Oh, if you finish your food, we are going to sing for you. That's not agreeable. That I'm going to give you sweets, I'm going to give you sugary drinks, and all those ones are not healthy for them. Another thing this thing what I'm about to say is that some of us think that they are young. We don't need to involve them in the meal planning process. Not at all. They are not young. They know what they are doing. If your child can say that, mommy, I want this, I don't want this, the child he already knows what he or she wants. So what you will do is that we involve them in the meal planning process. And how do we do that? You can say that, Mom, what do you want? You can ask Daniela, what do you want us to eat today? She will say, of course, you know what they will say, biscuits. They can say cornflakes. Okay. Oh, cornflakes is fine. Okay. But what about beans? Oh, they'll say, oh, okay. Okay. Will you mind helping me pick the beans? Well, when you are involving them, see, children are no then one of their the thing they like playing. So they see it as play. So you involve them in okay, do you pick the beans together? So they are happy seeing the results. So okay, even so that's why we need to give room for them when we are involving them. Give them a little tray. You know they're going to scatter the beans, fine. Just put a little beans. Okay, you're helping mommy. Thank you. You know that beans is not an is an issue. Okay. And they will say, okay, we are going to cook now. We're going to get, well, can you help me get the pots? They are getting the, you are involving them. They're excited to help. And please, let's be careful of the fries, anything frying and hotness in the kitchen when they're around, please. So you are involving them. So they're excited to do that. Although they will be distracted, they can just get a pot and go back to their cartoon. But don't worry, starting somewhere. So, okay, when you finish this, mom is going to give you a star, mom is going to dance for you, mom is going to do this, and then, okay, let me try. Please, they live by example. If you don't eat it, don't expect them to eat. They will not eat it too. I think I think most mothers we are guilty of this thing. Some of us we want our children to eat, but we don't eat. Some of us, I don't know, at around 10, 11 p.m. when we know that they are asleep, we don't go and get the cold chocolate from the freezer and we now cross legs. Oh God, thank you for today. I can now enjoy myself. And you know that some of them cannot peep. Mommy, what are you doing? Go and sleep. They have seen you do that. So you lead by example. So another point I want to say, please start with small steps. Try new foods, especially food, because picky eaters are usually food neophobic. So don't try many food at the same time. And when you understand the texture of the meal, some of them don't want peppery meals. In my own locality, they said if a child has not eaten pepper, as the child has not start eating, it is not true. It is not true. If you know that the child has an issue with pepper, just please hold on to it. When the time comes, the child will warm up to the pepper itself. So you will try new foods in small quantity, and it may even take 8 to 10 times to accept a new food. What I am saying now, I'm going to talk about my own life experience later, about my son. When I gave birth to my daughter, she had smooth. We don't have any issue with food. She was not accepting anything. What's my son? I was thinking that he's a boy. Boy likes eating. They can eat well, but no, that's not my case. That wasn't my case. Even till now, I'm saying we try to inculcate meals. We try it, and we try it all over and all over again. Not just for them to eat, but to have a healthy relationship with food. That's just it. To have a healthy relationship with food. So what I do is that we'll take it a bit. You know that this is maybe what they will eventually eat, but take it in small bits, considering the nutritional advantages, the carbohydrate, the protein, the fat, the oil, all of those things, incorporating it in a meal, and also explaining to them. You might be thinking they don't know. Do you want to have strong bone? Do you want to have strong bones? Said, yes, I want to have strong. Okay, then you have to eat this. Then this will be good for you. And you find them that they are responding. Another thing is that we can offer choices, healthy choices. That's one of the issues I have with having a rigid meal plan. Some of us, we are eating bread for dinner. That is it. Nothing else. No. So you can tell your child, do you want rice and beans or you want bread and beans? So you offer healthy choices so that they themselves, they are involving them in the meal. They'll say, okay, I want this. So you can try as well have 2 or 3 healthy options in which they can be able to choose. And when they choose a meal, their acceptability will be there and they will be able to finish it. So we can also incorporate to stick it in. Sometimes the issue with them not eating vegetable is because of the cutting of it. For instance, my own son, he does not like a type of vegetable because it's not finely blended. So what I do is I blend it smooth. For him, others will be taking this, but for him, because I want him to take a particular vegetable, so you stick it in. into their meals. You sneak it in. Sometimes it's not actually healthy. It's not, should I say it's healthy? It's not something that goes well here. I know you like rice, but I know you also need to take vegetable. Maybe there's a particular vegetable we call ewedu. I can give him ewedu to drink first before he takes rice. Now I'm more sure that because I know that when I put it in his soup, he will not eat it. Another time, maybe the green vegetable, the lettuce, and he will not eat it. But when I know he can drink it, and he will do that is well fortified with crayfish and all those kind of things. So you stick it in. You stick it in. You know that they don't. So you put a little bit at a time and you watch. And make food more fun. We sing, we sing, we laugh, and we don't need. Let's not be distracted. I'm still coming to that. The TV. Mealtime. I found out that usually dinner, here in Nigeria, we only tend to eat dinner together. Most of us, we don't eat breakfast and lunch together. We have to pack food, but dinner. And so the dinner that the child has gone to crèche or daycare and now come back. Now what we now do is that, hey, what is happening in the TV? Oh yeah, increase the volume. No, there is food time, there is TV time. Usually we switch it off, because they will be distracted. You will not even know how the quantity they should eat and in the quantity they need. Because if they listen, they are off it. They say they don't want it again. Hello, I can see my boy. Hello, Atosin. I can see you over there. Hello. These are my constituency members. You are listening to me. I recognize your presence, my dear. So we make food fun. Oh, yes, Oluwaseyi Osaze-Emokpae. Yes, you can have some question there. So you make it food fun, and so that you create the atmosphere, colorful ways and shapes. There are some shapes that looks like this, like the shape of the cup. So sometimes we can even make an healthy cookie. We can make rice cookie, even with a cup. So when they see that they are doing that, they see it as fun. And some of their plates, you make it colorful. For instance, during meal time, you can have this thing I'm putting on. I was like, is mommy coming to play? No, you're coming to eat. They will think that you you have come to play, but they're seeing, okay, this is a meal time. So their utensils, their plates could be a colorful, beautiful ones. You can make them look attractive. There are some images that could be on maybe their favorite cartoon. Okay, we are using like what kind of cartoon should I say? We are using maybe Ben 10 cartoon today and cartoon plate today. Oh, you're going to bring your Ben 10 cartoon plate. They will run. They will go and bring it. So they are relishing on the fact that maybe I like the cartoon and I'm eating from the plate. And so make them colorful, color red, color blue. Oh, you're going to bring your color red spoon. And they are happy to bring it because maybe we are trying to eat. We are trying to get them to eat. As I said the other time, you create a positive environment. Share meals without distraction, please, especially the TV. Some of us are used to, we are eating and we are pressing our phones. It is what you do that they will copy. So you know that this is a meal plan. We eat, we are serious. After you know that they are okay and everything, we can go back. And let's make food time a discussion time. I found out that when my daughter is eating, that's when she remembers all that happens in their school. Mommy, so don't shoot them up. Shut up. Then you don't eat, you don't talk while eating. Who says that? The reason why we say they don't talk while eating is to avoid food aspiration. So the rule I have in my house that you don't eat, you don't talk when you are putting food in your mouth. When you have swallowed it, you talk. Because it is food time is a discussion time. So let me repeat myself. Let me repeat so that people will not quote me. You don't talk. You don't tell your child. Don't shoot her up when she's when she's talking. You encourage them when they are eating. We encourage discussions. So sometimes they can be eating for an hour or two. Some of them can be fast. They are done. They are done with the food. So what I do is that you don't talk with food in your mouth. You swallow the food before you talk. So for every of our meals, she's not talking mouthful with food in her mouth. She's talking and and you find that they tell you things. So food time should be like a discussion. And for some of us that have toddlers, when the elder one is saying, the younger ones can be copying what the child is saying, and with that it's upping their speech is very important, because you wouldn't want them to just be mute during time. Then you have to be patient and consistent. I tell you that it is a space that will fizzle out. So okay, no, let me go to that. It is a phase that will soon phase out with time, with consistency, with love. So avoid pressurizing them or punishing them, because this will lead to greater resistance in them. They will lead to greater no. Don't pressurize them. And of course, you don't beat them because of food. No. Instead, you encourage, you speak. Yes, I want to say that you speak to them. When a child sees you and sees your sincerity as regards food, especially as mothers, they will warm up to you and just say, my darling, you have to eat. You know why? You have to grow up. You'll be strong like mommy. You'll be strong like daddy, and another kind of thing. As I said the other time, let them help in meal preparation, in raising of fruits. For instance, if some children and some mother complain to me that their child don't eat fruit salad, that they feel so overwhelmed, please give them an apple and there's a knife for children, not sharp. Let them cut. So when you ask them to rinse it, ask them to help you in picking of those lettuce. Ask them to stir the ingredients if it is not hot. Even if it is not too hot too. Ask them to just help them say, okay, mommy is cooking, Daniela is also cooking, oh, we are happy, and all those kind of things. And also we also need to focus on nutrient dense meals. I think that is another topic on its own. Our vegetables, our fruits, our grains, our protein foods, and fortified soya alternatives. As much as possible, please limit added sugars and sodium and high sodium. You know, one of the food that is common here in Nigeria is Indomie. It's a pasta, yes, pasta that, you see, when I wouldn't, don't let me talk into that. But as much as possible, limit food rich in added sugars. Added sugars are maybe your biscuits, your cakes, all those kind of anything that's they are not sugar in its natural form, and also limit as much as possible food in high sodium. Then provide essential beverages, water, milk, and of course breast milk if they are still on breast milk. Ensures food safety. You know, help them cut their meals, especially in my locality we eat yam, and many children don't eat yam because of the size. Please help them cut the food that I had to swallow in smaller pieces. In fact, I found out that my children prefers porridge, yam in porridge form than potted form, than even the yarn himself. So we work with pottage, and we make sure it is matched. So for all our food, some of them we give them granules, and then we'll be marveling. But why don't they eat groundnut? Please, if they don't want to eat it, you can blend it and add it to their oats meals. Add it to them, because they don't want that size, that consistency at the moment. So we do it. So we also need to understand their do they like eggs? Do they like meat, poultry, and everything? I'm glad to should I say I'm glad to announce to you all that my son, so now he doesn't eat meat. He doesn't like meat. But what I do is that I will cook chicken and mash it and put it in his meals. So sometimes when his teacher at the school opens his food and like, what's this thing? What did you bring to school again? Because I know that he will not want to eat the meat or anything. So what I do is that I cook it soft, then I match it so it's in shreds. So let me just conclude in that maybe when we have a question and answer, I'll be able to um talk more and answer the questions. So thank you very much. If you have any question or maybe a concern, I would I would really welcome that. But we have talked about meal planning. We cited we defined it. We cited the biblical examples in the scriptures. We have also talked about picky eating and how the characteristics and the age groups that is common with that, and how to even handle that in children. In all, I believe in prayers. I believe in prayers. At some point, my son had a particular condition that wasn't helping his meals, and I know that he needs to eat well. He needs to eat healthy. Should I say, brethren? I took it to God in prayers. Not just it has worked for, and it has worked for several of my patients in the hospital. Lord, you are the creator of this boy. You are the creator of this girl. You know that it is essential for this child to grow healthy. Give him a healthy appetite. Remove every food aversion. I speak to them even right from when they are in the womb. Because one of the things that is stressful for mothers is when a child is not eating well. It's actually very stressful for us. And you will be so worried. So you speak to them, you speak to God about them, and speak, Lord, this child has an healthy appetite. In the name of Jesus. Prayer works a lot. So as we do that, we also live by example. We also live by example. So let me just stop that in that sense before I go. So thank you very much for your time. God bless you. Over to you, Madam Mercy.
You so much, Ma. So good. Honestly, I feel like what you shared is actually very relatable. Anybody who listens to this is a master class that was just crunched in 30-35 minutes. Yeah, and it's so valuable, it's value packed. And I was just jotting and noting things in my notes that just really stood out for me. Just really, especially when you began to talk about involving children in meals. I think maybe last year up until this year, I began to also, because I could be that you would eat, but you have to eat. And then it wasn't working for my own child. And then she's just like, no, she's not eating. And she would just turn her face. And it's really nothing I could do at that point. And then one of the things I began to learn was, okay, which one do you want? Will you take this or will you take this? I learned it from my sister-in-law, and I found that really it worked a lot, because sometimes she'll tell me, okay, I won't eat this. I'll provide a healthy option actually. I won't eat this, but I'll eat this one. And it really, sometimes there's a lot of mess everywhere, especially trying to help with meal planning. And there's a lot of, is also something I also got from this session, especially when people don't plan meals. When we don't plan meals ahead, you find out that whatever is next, maybe a chocolate, a snack that is not healthy,
That's
you
what.
just give to them. But if you've planned ahead, we cannot overemphasize the place of planning. If you've planned ahead, or this is what the family is eating this week, or we can tweak it in this way, just in case the children don't want to eat it this week. If you've planned ahead, it relieves you of the stress, just like planning your work day. You find out that when you put things on your to-do list, this is what I'm going to be doing. Distractions are limited, you know. Um, doing other things that are not, on the path to achieving your goal, they are limited. And I think that the other thing I also took from this is also, food shapes, healthy food shapes, just making it very, very fun, colorful utensils. Some of us will just carry, very black plates, just put one stainless. So yeah, I think, or you say to your barber, "Sini Johnson," I'm like, how you expect it to eat? How? My
That's very,
just in
very
society, and it just work. Especially, I know that growing up, with our parents, they'll just give us this a particular stainless plate. Oh yeah, just
good.
stainless this and stainless cup. My younger brother in particular likes, that stainless cup. It will just throw it on the ground. That sound alone makes him so happy, you know. So make it very, very colorful, and then sharing meals without distraction. It is so true. Very true. I don't know. Personally, that thing doesn't even work for me. Like, you are eating. I initially used to do it. I need to be very honest. I used to do it that I would just, just play the TV, just put the TV up to watch and eat. But I found out that it wasn't really helping because they're more focused on the TV than on the food. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, the food gets very cold and they're like, they don't want to eat again. So it is very important that we share food without distraction. And the fact that you also brought the point of discussion, having to discuss it is just a game changer. That it's always a point to just really everybody just share what really happened in your day. Discover, not even just even discussion. Sometimes you find out that sometimes when you're eating, you're able to discover certain unique giftings in your children. The one that is creative, trying to create something with just meal, you can just really pick that. This is a very special ability. Also, maybe just something that maybe is that point that they'll start singing. You can spot out abilities during meal time. So this is like all encompassing. And I think that the most important thing, that you also said in all of it is to be patient and consistent. That consistency, that patience is what I think that we as, families, parents, moms that need to, really develop, strongly. Okay, so I think I will just move on to the Q&A. Thank you so much, Ma. I will just first.
Sorry, excuse me. I think
No problem.
children are different. For children that after trying all this, maybe they have a particular needs, and you are noticing some micronutrient deficiencies have been evident, please see a dietitian. There are ways to go about it. There could be supplementation and other things to be done. Please, if after trying all this and you know that, oh, this child is, maybe you found it that is having some issues with his hair. His hair is becoming frail due to lack of protein. He's having maybe the issues with eyesight, maybe vitamin A deficiencies and all those kind of things. Please see a nutritionist dietitian. They're going to assign a particular meal, and there could possibly supplementation for those children. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not impossible that some children actually are actually deficient in certain nutrients. Professional help is needed. We should not try to excuse it, especially when it has to do with the life of a human being. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you so much. I will just read one question that we have on Slido quickly. So it's just loading. Yeah. The person is asking, how do you feed your child when he picks food based on mood? E.g., which is, for example, he may refuse food in bottle, now preferring hand feeding and prefer the bottle hours later. So, Association of
So,
Mood Eaters.
oh, yes, there are children like that. Yes. Oh, for children like that, you have to the problem is not actually the food. It's helping the child to understand his mood, helping the child to balance his mood. And that's not just involves feeding, eating alone. It involves other aspects of their lives. They might be in class and you say, I don't feel like writing. I don't feel like doing things. No, you have to teach them that you don't do things according to your mood. You do things as how it should be. So for children like that, you playfully explain to them that, my darling, personally, I'm not even in the mood to feed you. I could be that playing with my son when he's trying to form a see, me too, I'm actually not in the mood to feed you. But you know what? We have to eat. We have to eat our meals. We have to do that. So what you do is that, what understand the triggers. Is it that the child has had a very stressful day and just wants to take something, food in liquid form? Understand these triggers. Is it that maybe he has a particular toothache or something that he just wants to this at this time? So understand this, why it brings about that. You know, first thing I explained to you is that you have to teach the child that you don't do things according to your mood. Sometimes we are not even in the mood to do things, but we do it because it is necessary. Having understood that, you also understand what are the triggers, what is making this child feel that way. Sometimes it's just be mere, should I say, playfulness. What I want to call it ayo, excessive care. So what you do is that you can involve other caregivers in that. For instance, my own son, he for no reason, for reason known to him alone, he does not like taking food in swallowing forms in my hands. It's not that he doesn't eat it though. For food in maybe amala, all those kind of, he will not take it from me. But what I do is that I involve other caregivers. I involve is a teacher, his caregivers in class, and call it class helper. Oh yeah, so I give him that kind of food. I know that for reason known to him, who does not want to eat that kind of meal in my hand, I give that to him to school because I know he will collect it. How they used to do it, I don't know, but they just have this relaxed. They said they don't even fight about it. He will even open his mouth before another one comes in. So that's what I do. So you may want to involve other caregivers apart from you, maybe the father, maybe the sister, to feed that kind of mood. But the mood needs to be stable and understand its triggers too.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much. Thank you. I love the fact that you said that it's an opportunity to actually train children to realize that it's not about mood. You can't always, move by mood, and which is a lifelong lesson, as they grow, that some days you don't feel like doing certain things, but you just, yeah. All
Exactly.
right. Thank you
You know,
so much. I don't know that.
I tell myself I'm not in the I'm not in the mood to eat. I'm not in the mood to feed me. So both of us have to be in the
No,
mood.
but
You know,
that's,
jokingly smiling, we eat. We eat.
well, that's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you so much, Ma. I don't know if that question was answered, if your question was answered in the way you wanted it to be answered. I don't know who sent it, but I do hope that your question was fully answered. Thank you very much. There's another question on the chat here. Okay, so this person is asking, please, how do I undo picky eating in children less than 2 years, 6 months to 1 year? I can't wrap my head around how to involve. Sorry, I think I need to mute. So I can't wrap my head around how to involve a very young child in meal planning. The issue is that the child just doesn't take the food, and there is no way to get feedback from the baby on the reason. So it's quite,
I think I actually like the last one. There's no way to get feedback from the baby because
yeah.
maybe the baby cannot talk yet. Actually, you can get feedback from their reactions, their attitude to that kind of meal. For children like that, for less than 2, what I ask is that I do an adequate diet history. What do you give the child? Let's start the child. Every child that is hungry will eat. Yes, they will feel hungry. And so what do you, let's start with that. So I would like to know what you give the child. Then do you provide alternative easily if they refuse a particular meal, such that let me give an example. If I know that mommy will give me this if I don't take this, so they have it they have it we just put at this at a side at a side in their brain, because when they know that there's a ready-made alternative, for feeding, you need to be soft and you need to be firm as regards that. A patient came to me some time ago and she complained to me that the child was just 9 months. The child doesn't want to take anything. I mean anything except breast milk. Okay, breast milk with what? She now said, Mimi, I think he likes jollof rice. And he said he does not take anything. I just told her, my darling, we will handle the jollof rice so well. that it will come to it. So there will be a particular meal that he or she will like. So our own role is now to make it adequate enough in terms of the nutrients he needs in that meal. So usually I don't want to be like, there is no meal. There will have to be something, at least one. So we work with the constituency, we work with the texture, we work with the size, and we manipulate it on as the child wants to, and as the child becomes more receptive to other meals. So that is how I want it. So how ready do you provide alternatives? And most of the time, the alternative we provide, they are the added sugars, they are the beverage. I would like to liken the stomach of a child with this size. When you put cake to come here, when you put sugary drinks, you have it here. You put this. So when you now offer pasta and vegetable, you are now expecting the child to eat this size. No, the child will only eat from this size to this size. So what have you been giving? Yes. What have you been? If you give them readily available food that is not beneficiary to them, then don't expect them to finish their meals. Don't expect them to finish or like that meal. And that's where meal planning comes in, and having a healthy relationship with food. So for this child, is there a particular meal this child likes? Does the child likes collecting meals? Does he prefer you feeding or another person feeding? You can involve an external person in the meal plan. So that's why I'm begging our fathers. I don't know how these children does it, but when it comes to food, they respect their dads more than the moms. I don't know, maybe because mommies have become we have become maid mates, so they tend to say, I don't want, and that is it. They don't want. But when it comes to daddy, and they don't, it's not that the daddy is even beating them. No, they just take it stress free. So you can involve other family members, you can involve their father, you can involve their caregiver to that particular meal you think they like, and work around the adequacies in the diet. I hope I've answered the person's question. But don't provide added sugar yet. Don't provide when you know that yes, she's not going to, but you will give me happy hour. Happy hour is a carbonated drink here in Nigeria. It will give you she will give me, mommy will give me this, mommy will give me that, and God now help you, they are twins. They will just gang up against you and say they are not eating, no, they are not eating, and that is what is it. Both of them, you just found out that who is teaching these children this thing? They will just not eat again. That's just it. So please, let's try that method. It will help. And also sometimes the portion sizes too. Sometimes we tend to give them food that is in terms of it's too much. So they are even scared for a child that is not even. So we give them small but frequent feeding. That's how we do it. Small but frequent feeding cycles. You do small, increase, small, small, take it. So sometimes the size they say, mommy, I cannot finish it too. I cannot finish it. And for children less than 2, they like eating in bits. So you try to make it, if there is a particular temperature they like that food. So try to conserve that food in that temperature and give them in bits. Because their attention span is not well developed to sit down and eat for a long time. So give them small. They can go and play and come back, an hour or two later we introduce again.
So good. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you very, very much. This is really, really insightful. And as you were talking, I just remember that truly with kids, they tend to listen more to it more when they're with their caregivers, or maybe somebody who is actually neutral. They somehow, and then you're like, and they won't eat at home, and then say, but they ate, and he now makes you look like as if you're the one that is not even trying your best. Oh my God, thank you so much. I don't know if there's any other person who has another question. Any other question? Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. This has been an insightful session. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your time and for the value that you dispensed today. I believe that all, families here, parents, whether caregivers have been richly, impacted by the wisdom you've shared today. And I just want to encourage you as a parent, if you're having a tough time, on meal planning, just like she said, just take it to God in prayer, because actually has worked for me to, a lot of times, like, God, please, I can't stress. Just yesterday, this was really interesting. Thank you. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much, amen. Yeah, really, just take it to God in prayer, and don't, every time we are all worried about something, we should always remember that God is not worried about it. Oh, somebody has a question. All right. Yes, ma, please shoot. Hi, Olanike, please ask your question. Would you like to type it out, or would you like to just say it on the call here?
Okay. So, baby.
Okay. Okay, she's saying, what age do you stop feeding bottle? She was feeding a baby. Hold on.
What age do we stop feeding bottle? In my practice, we don't encourage bottle feeding. Yes, in my own practice. And not because bottle feeding is bad, but because of some things that is associated with it. And one of them is an infection. It's breath infection. Then because of the teeth of the mouth, the tip of the mouth of the bottle. Sometimes mothers are not patient enough to wash and clean, something like that. And also there could be some cross contamination. You just open, somebody grabs under, they put it back into the mouth and everything like that. Okay, so my year is 1 year 5 months. Hey, can I see? He loves to take pap. Please, can I see the question?
Okay, he said, she said, my boy is 1 year 5 months. He loves to take pap, even golden morning bottle. I've tried to stop several times, but he refuses.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry you had to start using bottle in the first instance, because as I was saying, I was talking about the disadvantage why we, as my practice as a dietitian, we discourage bottle feeding. One of them is infection, and also the second one is it delays transition to family meals, because the child is used to food in bottle form. So when you now begin to offer rice, you begin to offer beans and those kind of thing that is not inside bottle, they don't accept it. So what we can do is that you have even done well by feeding your child to that extent, and it has been events it has been event, so let's say event free, such that there was no case of diarrhea or cholera and all those kind of things. I don't know. It depends on, apart from who feeds your child. And if you are the one that only you are the only one that feeds your child, who else feeds him? I would like to know that. Then what we can do is that, okay, grandma, oh, God bless our grandma. So grandmas are wonderful. What we do is that we reduce the frequency of bottle feeding. We reduce the listen to me, frequency of bottle feeding gradually. So this is how you will do it. When you bottle feed, maybe you bottle feed like 5 times, you can start with using plates for 2 times and bottle feeding 3 times, I mean in a day. And the kind of plates you will use, make them colorful, make it beautiful. Use spoon that is appropriate for his age. Don't go and bring all those big takeaway spoon. There are some cute spoons that it will be easy for the tongue to lift the food from the spoon. So those kind of things, please be mindful of the sizes of those things. Then you said golden morn. I would like to bring this to us that golden morn, it's not for children less than 3. Yes, it's actually written in the pack for children, and it's because it contains a high fiber. The only thing that is useful in that golden month that you are giving the child is the milk in the child. That is the appropriate milk for age. That's if you are not even using all those milk and the adult milk, the children milk. So that's the other thing, is that it takes it. I know what fiber does. It increases transit time. It should just go into its small intestine, large intestine, and it will come out. The ones that the body will absorb, it should just be little, because it has a high fiber which helps to aid that's okay. So adults, okay, my baby, oh, that's another person prefers adult spoon. I don't know, maybe he prefers the big name. So what you do, I'm talking, meal planning and feeding is individualistic. I'm still talking about I'll come to you, Mama, Adelaja Adura. So I'm talking about the Olanike baby. So what we'll do is that we'll gradually decrease the bottle feeding time. Bottle feeding in terms of, and we make this time around, you are coming with this and this. So you can use it to make some music, make it attractive, and say, you can say, where is it coming from? You can also give him a pear too, a spoon, and that is not going to be used at that moment. So let him also try. Gradually, you are introducing him. You are changing that psyche, because what it's in him is that any healthy meal that will be good for me, it's coming from bottle. And now you're not trying to change it. He will tell you no. There's going to be a resistance. Yes. But when you in a playful method, allow him to also fill the plates. You can have it in pairs. Also, okay, this is what is there. And also sometimes you can even do it in front of him. No, I'm only trying to bring methods. You can pour from the bottle inside the plate and let him see that it's what is in the bottle that is also in the plate. So children also have trust issues. They don't used to trust us because they know that mommy can put herbal concussion inside those things. So they will just okay, it's also what is there, and we gradually reduce the frequency, and also allow another person to do it too. Let another person try it with the person. At least you will see the person. You may want to, but you will know that this one is not mommy. It's not that I will cry now. Mommy will bring her breast milk. This one is not mommy. This is another person. So we can also encourage another person to help us. For children that prefers adult spoon, I would like to meet your child though. I would like to meet your baby. That's a good one. That's actually a good one. Please let him use it though. Let him or her use it. Let's encourage as much as they are eating, as much as I'm using. But I'm sure the adult spoon is not a spoon that can injure the mouth, the both the tip of the mouth and all. It's actually it's safe to use. So why won't you? Because it's food behavior. Maybe some other time we'll talk about food behavior, and children, they learn by example. What you do is what they copy. They you don't no There's no written rule to as get something. You just find out that they are doing it. So the fact that she's saying that yeah, you are using a adult spoon, okay, that means that's the spoon as you also use as a child. It might also be that reason. It might not be a special, okay, mommy is taking this, I also want to take it. And another thing I forgot to do is that for children that picky eater, we encourage community eating. Community eating for children that have so community eating such that they see that mommy, daddy, everybody is eating and everybody is talking. So with that, you are encouraging, you are developing their attitude, a good attitude towards food. It's not just about they should eat, it's about having a good attitude and a good behavior towards food, such that they eat well, they understand the sense of they understand their cues for fullness. Okay, I'm full, let me stop eating. They also, because we also need to guide against bulimia and anorexia, all those kind of things. All those kind of eating disorders later in life. They understand their cueness. They understand their hunger cues. Okay, I am hungry, I need to eat. So having a healthy relationship with food should be our priority, not just is eating a particular meal, is not eating a particular meal. I think I've been able to answer our baby's question as regards that. But we don't encourage bottle feeding for the reason I said the other time. As much as long as the child is 6 months and you want to introduce the complementary feeding, please we get a cup and a plate, or we get a cup and a spoon or a plate, something that they will even be happy that they have their own utensils. And when you also get them to go and bring it, they're happy that mommy is sending me message and I'm also. So that is the reason we encourage that. We don't want any infection. But you have done well to nurture your child to that extent, and it has been a smooth one. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Messi.